welcome to the Community of Philosophical Inquiry video series for the ASEAN University Network in Human Rights Education. My name is Vacharalitai Vanchinan, lecturer at the Institute of Human Rights and Peace Studies, Mahidol University.
And I'm P. Amonyam, a researcher in philosophical dialogue.
In this series, we'll be exploring teaching approach called the Community of Philosophical Inquiry, or CoPE for short. Since one of the main objectives of the ASEAN University Network on Human Rights Education is to support educators in Southeast Asian universities to improve their teaching in human rights-related courses, we think CoPE will be a great pedagogical tool to add to your teaching toolkit. Human rights education aims to promote universal respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms by providing persons with knowledge and skills, as well as developing their attitudes and behavior, in the hope that this will contribute to the prevention of human rights violations and abuses. As such, human rights education encompasses three pedagogic dimensions, that is, teaching about, teaching through, and teaching for human rights. From our experience working with educators in higher education institutions, we've learned that many lecturers feel the need to deliver content knowledge, and therefore lecturing becomes the most common method of teaching in the classroom. While imparting knowledge can be useful, the transmission approach usually lacks critical reflection, which is important for learning about values and for development of learners' agencies. Even if we want to deliver content knowledge, we don't have to do it only by lecturing. We can engage students in discussion and help students to learn from different perspectives before arriving at some sorts of conclusion. Furthermore, since human rights are ethical values and norms that are related to or may be in tension with other concepts, values, and norms, having students engage in an inquiry about these values can help them reflect on their own as well as their peers' beliefs, which may be the same or different. This can generate a form of collective understanding and learning among students. Now, let's jump into what CoPE is. The term Community of Philosophical Inquiry comes from a teaching method co-developed by Matthew Lipman and Anne Margaret Shaw, called Philosophy for Children, also known as P4C. Lipman had the idea when he was teaching college-level philosophy, where he realized the urgent need to teach students to think and reason well, starting from a young age. He then left Columbia University to establish the Institute for the Advancement of Philosophy for Children, or the IAPC, at Montclair State University in New Jersey, to focus on developing teaching methods and curriculum for teaching philosophy to children. At first, P4C was designed as a curriculum to be taught together with novels for children that Lipman himself wrote, along with the accompanying teaching manual for each book. Later on, P4C started to expand beyond its original curriculum as practitioners started to adapt the method and choose their own stories and materials for their class. Today, P4C are no longer used exclusively for children, so the term, like Community of Philosophical Inquiry, is used as a more general term that encompasses a wider range of learners and practitioners.
The goal of P4C, according to Lipman, by extension CoPE, is to teach students to be able to think, and we do that by teaching them to do philosophy. Contrary to many people's assumptions about children's capabilities, Lipman believed children have an intuitive sense of curiosity and the ability to think abstractly about the world and discussing values. Therefore, he thought that philosophy holds the key for students to think more critically. He didn't think that children needed to learn academic philosophy that is tied to specific thinkers. Rather than having students remember philosophers' arguments, Lipman thought of philosophy more as a set of important questions in which everyone can engage and find the answers for themselves. The point of education should be about teaching students methods for arriving at solutions, not jumping in to provide answers from the get-go. In CoPE, your role as a teacher will be that of a facilitator, asking questions to guide students through their thinking process, while ensuring that the inquiry remains open and respectful for everyone. This approach encourages students to engage in dialogue rather than reaching their own conclusions. Lastly, before we go any further, let us clarify some terms. In the field of philosophy education, you may come across various terms related to philosophical approach to education, so some knowledge of the basic terms may come in handy in your future research. First, you have the term philosophy for children, with its acronym P4C. This is the term originally used by the pioneers of the community of philosophical inquiry. Then we have the term philosophy with children, which was introduced later as a way to acknowledge children's own ability to do philosophy. It recognizes that the process of doing philosophy is not one in which an adult who knows better provides knowledge for the child. Rather, the process is a co-creation of the facilitator and children who are capable of doing philosophy in their own unique way. Because of this, you would also see some people opting for a more encompassing acronym, P4WC, to denote the nuance about for and with. Then we have the term community of philosophical inquiry. It's built on Lippmann's conception of the classroom as a community whose members collectively think in pursuit of a common goal to inquire and seek answer. You might also notice that sometimes the word inquiry is written with an I instead of an E. This is merely due to the difference in writing between British and American English. In this video, we use the term community of philosophical inquiry with an E because first, we think it is a more encompassing term for our university students, and two, the background of our thinking and training comes from CoPE, a P4C training organization in the UK, so a British English spelling is used. So far, we learned about the fundamental ideas of CoPE and some related terms, which we'll be encountering going forward. In part 2, we'll discuss the structure and key elements of a typical CoPE session.